Most people just think I'm playing around when I say I learn more having my CDL than someone that stayed in school, stayed in college and got a 4-year degree and whatever, and about 90% of degrees. I went to college. I wasted almost 3 years of my life. Yeah, just about 3 years of my life going to school, wasting money on tuition, and I can't tell you a single thing I learned. And of course, you could always argue, well, you didn't finish your degree, so that's kind of the reason. But no, I took so many courses. I passed a lot of courses because, of course, you take maybe 4 to 5 courses every semester. So I completed probably like 20, 25, 30. I don't even know. But regardless, I took at least 20 courses and I haven't learned anything. I mean, I could even go to the extent I really didn't learn nothing in high school. After middle school, I got everything I really needed. But college especially, people feel like it's such an entitlement once you have a degree, once you have a specific piece of paper saying that you actually learned something. But for people who go to college, if you know somebody that goes to college, I ask them, like, what did you learn today? And they're like, oh, what do you mean? Like, no, what did you specifically learn today while you were in school? Most people couldn't tell you what they learned today, this week, hell, even this month. And if they say they learned something at the end of a semester, they're probably just gonna read you off the course description. So, okay, they took a psychology class. Oh, I learned the basic intro fundamental principles of learning physiological, psychological. You know, it's like, seriously, like, you really don't learn jack in college. So when I say I learn more having my CDL, I really mean it, because when I'm out driving, I have, a couple hours to myself per like delivery route, and I'm literally just listening to like educational topics. So whether that's trying to learn something about fitness, I like learning different things, like different workout exercises, or just stuff like that to do at the gym, tips, tricks, stuff like that. Whether it's with a diet, kind of best principles to follow when you're trying to cut. And I learned things, way better than any history class. I learned history classes, especially in the United States, it's kind of painting like a side of something. So I don't know. Plus, I really didn't even take it serious in school. But like, just learn about anything that happened. I definitely had it while having my CDL. When it comes to more like lifestyle principles to live by, maybe like having a dedicated morning routine, nightly routine, being productive, trying to invest. I learned all that while being out on the road, because whether you're in college or you're actually working like a full-time job, you really don't have time to like learn anything, because you're working all day, Monday through Friday. By the time you get home, you're exhausted from your job. You're exhausted from your job, and when you come home, you don't want to do anything. You just kind of want to relax, because you got tomorrow you gotta, you're thinking of. Then weekend comes around. Well, those past 5 days just drains you. Like, you're trying to get out, let loose, just have a good time, right? You're not really thinking. Maybe you'll spend like an hour or two, maybe doing something productive in a sense. Maybe read about something, or learn. But majority of your time, I think they say you got like 168 hours in a week, and how you spend that time, it matters. With having my CDL, like I probably spent at least, I say 30 actually learning something throughout the week, which then sparks my interest in something else. Like for example, right now I'm big into learning about crypto, because it's kind of a new thing. I'm young, I want to take chances on stuff. It seems like crypto is the biggest like risk to reward ratio, so there's a high chance I'm probably gonna lose it all. But if I hit big, like it's gonna hit, meaning your standard stock market, you're doing good, you're making 20-30% in a year, right? You're kind of doing all right. In crypto, I'm looking at X's. I'm trying to like 5x my money, 10x my money. So every 1,000 I put in, I'm trying to get 5K, 10K out. With that, it's super volatile, super risky, but I'm fully like understanding what I'm getting into. And I even bought a $1,000 course trying to learn just the basic fundamentals, trying to see what crypto is all about. And truthfully, I enjoy it. I listen to audiobooks here and there. I'm more of like a video person though, like when people talk to me like in a podcast type style. But some audiobooks are like pretty good to where it's almost like a conversation being spoken to me. But audiobooks are definitely a good way of, learning something while you're out on the road. My only problem is a lot of the books are kind of like monotone, so it's so easy for me to like lose interest, and then my mind just starts wandering. I just start thinking about whatever. I don't know what's going on in the story, and then, well, it's kind of the end of it. But some books, like there's a book, Thank God for Bitcoin. It's somewhat like a good like storytelling. He's not like monotone, not like almost like a computer or like some old grandpa reading it. Oh my, I used to hate in school, they used to do like old, like damn near 80, 90-year-old men just reading to it, like seriously, trying to put me to sleep. I remember this shit like back in like middle school. But anyways, that's kind of like my ways of like learning stuff. And I can bounce around from anything. Whether I'm trying to learn a skill in finance, to a skill in like a hobby. Like I was trying to get into roller skating, but I don't know how to, I didn't even know where to start. So I'll hop on YouTube. I put like you can put play next in like a playlist or whatever. I come up with like an hour and a half worth of content. I'm just, listening to it while I'm driving. I kind of got the basic fundamentals. Obviously, something like that, you have to do it to actually learn. But, I know like about like getting like right kind of skates, what to expect, kind of some tips, stay on your feet. I even threw in some like advanced topics like backwards skating. I'm not at that level by any means, but I definitely want to. But it's random stuff like that, like I'm interested in. Sometimes I want to learn about like political stuff. I'm not a political person by any means, but I'd like to know what's going on in the world. I'd like to see what's going on, with the new administration, what's getting signed into action, what are they like more towards, learning more kind of how they affect like global scenarios, like the global markets in a sense, because efficiently that's what affects crypto. It goes, crypto, it's like the S&P, which is really just global markets, which turns to be kind of ran by the government. So it's kind of good to know the source of everything. So I'll learn, maybe just see what's going on. They got all kinds of like money floating around. I was listening to a podcast yesterday about that. But yeah, really just anything. I kind of learned about, like, a lot of people don't know, like, inflation numbers, CPI numbers, like stuff that actually, it's like a micro and macro economics type things I like learning about. And I learned more in that than someone that went to school and took those classes, because I took a microeconomic class and I couldn't tell you anything I learned from that. I learned about the Fred macro chart, but seriously, it took me a whole semester trying to learn all that. I could have did that literally in a couple hours, trying to learn the entire thing by myself. So, I mean, it's a cool thing now, especially truck driving. There's a lot of local jobs that are in demand, so you're not living the lifestyle of being a trucker. And combine that with, you know, just source of information. There's so much information now thanks to having the internet, which is truly a gift. We're truly privileged and blessed to even have that. So I'm grateful for it, really. It just taught me about so many things. Learned about like how banking works, because banking effectively, like, it controls kind of the whole society. The banks do. So it's funny, like, when you're a kid almost, or you're in school, you think, okay, you put your money in a bank account. Say you got $50,000. You put that $50K into your bank account, and the government or the bank is gonna loan out half of it, and then the other half is gonna be there. But when you get older, it's like, no, dummy. You put that $50K in, the bank actually loans out 90% of it, and then you're left with 10%. I should have said 100K. Okay, so 100K. Bank loans out 90,000 of that 100K, and 10K is there for you to, is basically like a reserve there. But when you actually like learn about it, especially these new times with the pandemic hitting, and they change laws, you know, all the time. So you literally have to keep up with this stuff for the rest of your life, honestly. I mean, because learning is a never-ending thing. I always thought when I was going to be done with high school or college, like, then I'd be done learning, but that is not the case by any means. I mean, we're made to learn new things and adapt. We're adaptive creatures in a sense, when you really think about it. But how it actually works, since I'm still talking about it, you put in 100K, that 100K is now a liability to the bank. So now the bank can get 9 or 10x that amount of leverage through the central bank. So your 100K is just debt to them, and now they got $900 or $1 million because of that debt of 100K that you put in there. So it's kind of crazy how all, like, the money system works. And I still think reading is by far the best means of learning something. But if you can get a grasp on that, on like a basic concept, before reading something more informative, like, you get, at least for me, I feel like I grasp onto the knowledge way better. Because when I started going into the whole deep dive of like the banking and how the money works, the whole money flow, how it's low-key a scam, I started just listening to everything. And then there was a book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and that goes to a whole deep dive about how the central bank, you know, was made, and the Fed, and it's like a super like advanced like deep dive into that. If I would have never got a basic concept of the banking system from different podcasts and videos and stuff like that beforehand, that book would have made no sense to me. And it would be like, what are they talking about? You know, because it's that advanced. But I mean, it just goes to show I think it's important. I think it's definitely an important thing of running a society, but you can learn about so many things. Like, even if you're interested in like sports or whatever, you can do deep dives of like teams like back in like the 90s or something, you know? Like, that is something I do want to get into, because the Browns, I don't know, I want to see how the Browns kind of came up. And, you know, my whole life they've been trash, because they came back in 99, and I don't know. They like sold off the team in 94 to like the Ravens, and then the Ravens went on to win the Super Bowl. And then Browns came back in 99 and have been literally trashed ever since, which is, you know, crazy. But right now my main focus is learning about crypto. I love learning about like finances and stuff. It's so funny because even now, like, I'll educate my family. Like, I educate so many people on stuff that are like years ahead of me. Like, stuff like my mom don't know, my uncle don't know, cousins don't know, and they all got me 10, 15, 20 years. And I'm educating them on stuff. So it's cool kind of, you know, to be able to teach them something. And of course they teach me stuff about like life, but it's all because I had my CDL, honestly. And I truly believe I learned way more having my CDL than if I would have stick to college, get my degree, have a BS job, and I'm making the same amount, you know? So that's how I feel about it. And I just want to share that.